Hello, everybody. Friday, Oilersnation Radio, Bag Milk, Dan, Tyler, Rick. Gang's all here, except Liam. He's on days off. Taking a break before the season starts.
Wasn't last weekend a long weekend?
Well, Liam is a man who enjoys his rest.
Call it a super long weekend for Liam.
Yeah.
A great long weekend?
What would be the super of a super long weekend? When I used to have my old
Friday
job
to
at a big
Thursday?
company, I was getting to a point in seniority where I had quite a bit of holidays banked. But, like, I couldn't afford to go anywhere. So what I ended up doing most of the time was just taking every Friday or Monday off for the entire year. And just every weekend was a long weekend.
That is a good way to
That's
do
smart.
it. And Amber's job, she gets like EDO, so like the first Friday of every month, she like works extra every other day, and then she gets the first Friday of every month off, and then she always likes to just tack on a personal day to the next Monday, and it's like boom, 4-day week, 4-day week.
Yeah.
I have the best one. The sports stats company that I used to work with,
Yeah.
you could accrue your time and you could extend it and to carry it over to the next year. I had one coworker that every 4 years would take the entire World Cup off. He would just book off the World Cup and just be at home watching soccer for his entire month.
It was
And
kind
that's
of
it.
like that at my old job too. I mean, like, if I said the company, you would understand it, but like there were people that work in that company for upwards of 30, 40 years. So by the time they get to that point, they have so many holidays. They would just be like, all right, I guess I'll see you in October.
Sir, it's February.
I've heard stories of people who like come to the end of their careers with certain jobs, and they'll be like, yes, I'm retiring in 8 months. And it's like, okay, why in 8 months? Oh, I have 8 months of vacation I'm going to burn first.
Yeah.
And they just
Smart.
burn it, and then they retire.
My old man, when he worked, I don't remember where he worked now. Oh, I think he was with the city at one point. His vacation used to roll over, but he wasn't a big vacation guy. So he would just like, and then eventually they're like, will you just leave? Like, you got to leave.
We've got to replace you for 2 years.
Anyway,
We don't have the cash to pay you, so please leave.
there's an actual, well, kind of, Oilers hockey game today.
Fascinating.
There is.
There is, if you count the Penticton Young Stars tournament.
We gotta get off that losing schneid we're on right now. So we need to
At the
we
Penticton
need
Young
to-
Stars tournament?
Well, just in general, the organization lost their last game. We need to win. We need to get that stink.
Did you
off
play the
us.
Canucks
Rick's
tonight?
were gay. Good teams don't lose back-to-back games.
Exactly.
Yep, 100%.
Doesn't matter the
That
gap
stink
between.
off.
So I got a delicious debate about the Penticton or training camp here, but I want to talk about Penticton for a second. Do you remember? Because I got asked about this on Low Tide yesterday. Do you remember when Taylor Hall was there and how the hype for that tournament kind of went from like, oh, it's a thing that happens to now just like launched off the stratosphere when Connor was even higher, and now it's just kind of like, oh yeah, that thing's happening again. Although I am excited to see how Matt Savoy performs against his peers.
That was like through our eyes, not through the eyes of everybody else, right? Like nobody really.
I'm
cared
just
about-
talking about us.
I was
don't
just
care
saying,
about
yeah,
everyone else.
that's
Oilers
the- yeah.
Nation send somebody to that camp?
No.
No, I thought
We
that
were
was
sending
research.
people for Canucks Army and Flames Nation this year.
There you go.
Oilers Nation's represented
Oh,
too.
yeah,
Our boy Bruce is out there.
out there.
Bruce Kurlock. So he is going to be doing, just as a programming note, after every Oilers game. So tomorrow on the site, he'll have just a 10 observations
Nice.
from the previous game.
I was chatting with Stephen Ellis yesterday on Oilers Nation Every Day.
Also featured in Ask the Idiots this week.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Was he a question asker, or
He
is
is.
oh,
He is an
I
asker.
thought maybe he was
an answer?
an idiot.
Oh.
It's going to come in.
Nope.
So I
He's
asked
too
him, I was
smart
like-
to be an idiot.
I was like, hey, is it maybe a little weird that Matt Savoy's doing this still, considering like he ripped apart the dub, he played whatever it was 7 pro games last year between the AHL and NHL, and Steven was at last year's rookie tournament for the Sabres when Savoy was there, and he said he was the best player at the rookie tournament then, whole tournament, best player. So Ellis was kind of like, yeah, it's not really a lot to prove, and he should be the best player in the tournament again now.
Do you think that there's any part of it that the Oilers are sending him there just for the sexiness of having him there?
And Steven did. That was part of his answer, too, actually, now that you say that. He said it's like part of it's a marketing thing. You want to send your best prospect to the tournament. But there's a few names I'm excited by. Like, I mean, Max Warner gets a lot of buzz, so he's one to watch.
Listen, Bruce is high on Max Warner, so like I'm high on. I feel smarter when Bruce tells me something, and I'm just going to steal all his information and, convey it as my own.
Well-
That's the plan for the prospects this year.
I don't know if you saw it, but Keith Kincaid is attending the Islanders rookie camp at the age of 35.
Which is very funny.
Yes.
What?
So, so anybody can go.
They like there's some like
Injury
whole
or-
thing of like
What?
they don't have enough goalie prospects and they're signing Kincaid to a PTO, and I guess he was like, yeah, I'd like to go face some shots in game action and get ready for camp. They were like, perfect. You're going to the rookie camp.
He's like, okay, I'm going to go to rookie camp. I'm not buying everybody dinner.
36 years
No,
young.
they're be asking to boot for him though.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're the States. A bunch of
yeah, that is a good.
Keith's got beers in his room.
No, I don't. Keep your shit tight.
Probably the only one with actual money as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's like, I'm not buying team dinners every time. It's not Jack Campbell going down to Bakersfield and be like, woohoo! You ever think about how Jack Campbell made $10 million and played 41 games for the Oilers over 2 years?
Yeah.
That's wild. Wildly depressing.
It's not great.
Efficiency.
When you look
From
at
his
it,
side, yeah.
when you look at it compared to what some other guys have made, like especially when you go to the NFL, and I think it's Sam Bradford, who started about 19 games in his 10, 12-year career, and he's made close to $200 million to pretty much carry a clipboard for his.
So I'm learning
Like
football.
that dude's God.
I'm diving into the NFL this year more so than just being a casual watcher. So last night I was asking Tyler a bunch of questions. And would a Deshaun Watson fit into that of playing very few games relative to the money he's being paid by the Browns?
But the thing with
few games is not a big thing. It's the fact he's playing terrible games.
Yeah, that's a wild one. Oh, and he's a terrible person, allegedly, in my opinion.
Yeah, allegedly by reports, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In some trouble.
Isn't Jacksonville renaming their stadium after their quarterback that hasn't won a playoff game for
Trevor
them yet?
Lawrence Stadium?
They're renaming
No.
it Trevor Bank Stadium for a week. Yes.
Oh,
Trevor Bank?
Yep.
instead of whatever.
Instead
it
of
is.
Everbank.
Oh, that's interesting.
Guy's got nice hair.
Trevor Bank.
NFL football.
It's
is,
really nothing different than Costin Pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still
Never
coming.
forget.
So,
Never
like,
forget.
again, we were complaining, oh, man, the Oilers got like $2 million of dead Jack Campbell money on the books. If the Browns were to cut Deshaun Watson because of how much guaranteed money, his cap hit next year is like north of $100 million.
Cool.
Just
All
dead
right.
money.
That's cool. I like that.
5 times the Minnesota Wild's dead cap.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's just like we said last week. You know, Leon Draisaitl would be like the 115th paid NBA player or whatever.
Yeah, that's
So
insane.
we will watch it. But we've got business to attend to. So let's
I
talk
do
about
think Leon and Connor should go to Penticton and be the coaches.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
And who would say no to a trip to Penticton?
That's what I'm saying.
It'd be nice. You go on a little wine tour out there?
Maybe we
Pop
can
over to
present
Kelowna?
them with like a duplex off the books for signing said contracts. But duplex, they have to like tap
Oh, they're going to share it.
one
Yeah,
each.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that's the way they would like it.
Makes sense. But first, let's get to business. We got a delicious debate here, but I'm very excited to say that the delicious debate is presented by the Nation Vacation to Denver that is coming up November 29th to December 3rd. You are going to get a viewing party on the Friday night. Edmonton plays Utah. Saturday, we are going to Colorado versus Edmonton. Edmonton attacks twice where our seats are at. And then on the Monday, we're going to go watch some foosball. You thought I was just bringing up NFL football for no reason.
And we get a free Sunday fun day.
A little Sunday fun day.
Oh, wait. So that's Thanksgiving weekend, right?
It is. Sort of.
Yeah, kind of.
Basically, there's Thanksgiving's on Thursday. So, I mean, the best we'll get is like someone's turkey leg.
It's a very busy Canadian weekend. Thanksgiving in the States. Go to nationgear.ca, book a trip. This is going to sell out. It is already starting to move. We're going to have a great time down in Denver. It is going to be a cool sports weekend.
This is gonna be a
Nationgear.ca.
good one.
It's a good NFL slate.
We've got, and I could watch my beloved Vikings play that Sunday morning as well.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. Is all we're
Oh,
definitely
your Vikings play the Cardinals.
Oh, let's
we
do
can
it.
Go hunker down at a sports bar together, watch some NFL
Niners,
football.
Bills at that night game.
Yep.
Let me ask you guys a question. You're attending. Tyler is a fan of the Bills.
week, so I don't
You
have
are
to
a
be
fan of
embarrassed.
the Dolphins.
Yeah.
What are you going to be wearing to the football game?
Probably just a hoodie.
I may look for a little bit of Bronco gear only because of the connection the Denver Broncos have to the city of Edmonton. Now, it's not really a thing anymore, but the former owner of the Denver Broncos, Pat Bolin, was from Edmonton.
So you're a Broncos guy.
Well, it's also fun to kind of stick it to Jay a bit, and he's a big Browns.
That would be fun if we all showed up in Broncos gear
I
just
do
to
like their-
actively troll Jay.
I like their throwback stuff. So, like, if I see like a cool throwback Broncos hoodie, I won't say no to it.
Anyway, expect the three of us to cheer against Jay. and Deshaun Watson. Nation Vacation is available now.
Also, my coach might have been a ball boy for the Broncos, too. He was a ball boy somewhere. I think it was the Broncos, yeah. All right, I'm a Broncos guy that weekend. We're on a bye week, so.
Broncos guy.
We're on a bye
Well,
week
and
now.
if you listen to the pundits after last night's Bills-Dolphins game, Dolphins are already up. They might as well just
we're on a
sell
bye
the farm.
season now, I believe. It's a bye season, the whole season.
Like, I was watching SportsCenter last night. They were like, sell Tyreek Hill, like, rebuild, find a picks for a quarterback at the draft next year.
That is, we should add for the context of those who watch on YouTube, the reason we're drinking beers is because inspired by bagged milk.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you realized the hack when you were talking to me.
Yeah.
BM goes, you and Rick should have some kind of bet for the football game. I'm a Bills fan. Rick's a Dolphins fan. And I was like, yeah, maybe like the losing team has to buy beers for the pod. And you were like, that's a great idea.
As somebody who had no dog in the fight.
those Bud Light cans, but like a Dolphins Bud Light can.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That would have been
Or
cool.
just stomp a Bills
Thanks for the
one.
beers, Rick.
Thanks
Pleasure.
for the
There
beers.
was 6, but I brought 15 because there's other people. And there's a fridge out there we can keep them in.
Also, thanks to the Dolphins, I won a bunch of money last night. Fantastic.
I'm assuming you should be thanking the Bills.
Well, we were sitting in here again.
Very
We
cer-
will get to the delicious debate, I promise. I was sitting in this room, and I'm like, Tyler, do you like Tua interceptions as a prop bet? And he goes, yeah, I do. I think he's going to throw interceptions. So, like, the first drive of the game, I text Tyler. I'm like, well, cashed one in already.
Dude, you got to catch the ball. That was a perfectly thrown ball. Perfect. He's a timing route. Turn, catch the ball. Oh, off his elbow pit. Next guy, again, timing. Turn. That wasn't where you're supposed to be. Ball over your head. Third one, trying to throw it away. That just happens.
All right. The delicious debate for my friend Tyler Yaremchuk for this week.
What is one surprise that we'll see during or coming out of training camp? So,
Well, you guys are thinking, I've been thinking about this. I got mine. Ready? Vasily Podkolzin will win the Ty Rattie Award.
Ooh, how brave of you.
The man of the preseason.
That's right.
Magnus
This
PRV has won it, even though that was before Ty Rattie.
Yep.
Ty Rattie himself has won it. Alex Chason,
Yessie Yoensu has won the Ty Rattie Award.
even though that was also pre-Ty Rattie.
That was
We retroactively gave it out once we came up with the award.
Well, now we got the award in place. We can
we just
retroactively
sat
go
there
hand it
one
up.
day for an hour, went backwards, and
Yeah.
who got it this year?
So
Back-
I'm
Podkolzin.
saying Vasily Podkolzin will be the winner of the Ty Rattie Award. Because what's the biggest preseason training camp / preseason? That's my pick. That's my pick.
What's the
I like
exact
that.
wording of the question?
What is one surprise that we'll see during or coming out of training camp?
Coming out of training camp, I think you'll see Raph Lavoie take a spot in the top 12.
Ooh, as an everyday Edmonton Oiler.
Yes.
So, in that instance,
Right. So right off the hop, Kane will be out.
yeah.
So he'll get almost not a freebie spot. There'll be a free spot that everyone's trying to play for.
The 13th spot, yeah.
And I think he will grab it.
And then maybe it's like a Corey Perry's just out of the lineup and scratched or something like that.
Corey Perry and Derek Ryan will be in and out all the time. Everybody says healthy and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I do think Raph Lavoie's right there in the mix. Like, yeah,
It's now or never for the big fella.
totally.
Dan, what you got? Your prediction for training camp, and I'm adding preseason in because I'm selfish.
I'm gonna I don't know if it's really so much of a big prediction, but I'm gonna say Josh Brown is on our starting roster, our
That
opening
is
night
a
roster.
massive prediction to me
You think?
Because you don't think
Yes.
he's close to being in the top 7?
because I don't think he's in the top 7.
I think
Why did they give him a 3-year deal?
I think he comes in and he plays a replacement level, hard nosed, strong defenseman for us to fill in the gap until Darnell is fully ready.
You don't.
Shoots the incorrect way. Am I not? Is he not a righty?
Yeah, he's a righty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
However, it's
there's a
still-
lot
yes.
of there's a lot of minutes now to go around in the
Yes.
preseason too. So Josh Brown cracks the top 7. I don't think he will just because of his money, which sounds dumb because like the difference from him to like a Connor Carrick or a Travis Dermott potentially being your 7th is only like $200K. But again, the Oilers are in a spot where like accruing cap space and that extra $200K could be pretty valuable. So that the only pushback I have to it is just that his $1 million. He's got to play real good, I think, to justify being the 7th D at $1 million.
I'm throwing in another one.
Okay, the other one's 750. How much
Yeah.
is Carrick? 750.
Yeah, he's like 775 or whatever.
I'm throwing in another one that, what's his name? They just gave him a PTO. Why am I guessing?
Travis Dermott.
Travis Dermott is going to earn a contract because Darnell Nurse is out.
I can see that. It's the reason why, and I think we've discussed on this show for sure. But The reason why bringing in a lefty on a PTO made more sense than the right side is, to Dan's point, like Emberson, Stetcher, Brown, Carrick. 2 of those 4 got to be good. 2 of those 4 are good, you're good. On the left side, Ekholm, Nurse, Kulak, you're set. But if one of them gets hurt, cough, Darnell Nurse, are you comfortable starting the season with Ben Gleason as your only option? Like, no, you want to bring in some competition, right? So I like the Dermott ad. I agree with you. I think he will get a contract. I think that's a good one.
He'll most likely will get a contract, but he'll probably be spending the majority of his time below the border.
I think. Oh, I agree with that. I just think that the news that who is it first? Tom Gazzola.
Yeah.
Tom Gazzola said that Darnell Nurse is going to miss training camp at least to start.
I think he's supposed to be ready for the start of the season. Quote unquote start. Right?
Yeah, I just think like they're going to want an insurance plan, and I don't know that Ben Gleason is that insurance plan. At least Travis Dermott has played in the NHL.
And we saw what happened last year when it came to Ekholm, who started off in the same situation, right?
Totally.
Like, I hope Darnell's a little ahead of him. Darnell skates better, so I think that part will be a little bit better. But just being game shape, game readiness, obviously, will be a little missing for him. So having a little bit of help there is a big thing.
Any other bold predictions for preseason training camp?
I'll give mine.
Go ahead.
Derek Ryan goes on waivers. And I think you'll see
somewhere Waz's ears are on fire.
Sorry, Waz. But I just
he's letting the air out of your tires right now.
If they're trying to, spice up the roster a little bit, if there's one spot that's open during training camp, it's that 4th line center spot.
Do you have a potential hole filler?
Of course he does.
Derek Ryan?
Lane Peterson.
Of course it is.
I've been talking about him so much now. I have like like how Waz is in on Derek Ryan. I feel like I'm now becoming that guy for Lane Peterson. I'm like, hey, he scored 20 goals last year in the American League. Put up decent numbers. He's a right shot. He's younger. We talk about how old this forward group is. Like, why not add some spice to things? Like, if Lane Peterson plays good, they gave him a 2-year contract for a reason. And also, again, similar to the Josh Brown thing, if you go from Ryan to Peterson, you save yourself a couple $100,000, accrue more cap space. There's benefits to it.
In 66 games with the Condors last year, Lane Peterson, 22 goals, 30 assists. So he had a productive AHL season.
Yeah, very productive. Like, again, I think he's good.
The Condors were bad, were they not? If I remember right.
I don't think they were great, yeah. But just, if we do, or we're used to, I guess, like a lot of vets being on those bottom lines in Edmonton. And they do have it with Henrique, Janmark, and Brown listed as the 3rd line right now on Daily Faceoff. But I think it'd be kind of fun if to start the year, the Oilers' 4th line was like Podkolzin, Peterson, and Lavoie.
I thought you were going to keep Old Man Perry in there just for a dad role.
He can be the 13th forward. But I'll say Derek Ryan goes on waivers.
Fascinated to see how they use Perry this year.
Sparingly.
So I was on with Low Tide today, and he asked me, he said, over under 40 games for Corey Perry this year. And I was like, holy shit, I don't even know how to wrap my brain around that. Because I think if one vet is going to go down to Bakersfield at some point, it's Derek Ryan over Corey Perry. Like, if you gave Corey Perry, if you brought him back for $1.1 million, you clearly value the intangible and having him around the room because he didn't do anything positive during the playoffs.
Perry probably doesn't make it through waivers. Derek Ryan does.
But Perry could always just do the Jason
I'm not going to play
thing.
for you?
Like, I'm an Oiler. Don't claim me or I'll retire.
That's such a funny threat.
You know what? When you get there, though, it is a sweet one to play.
Yeah.
Like, Jason Spezza was the pioneer of that move, in my opinion, or at least in my memory. And I loved it because he just goes, you can claim me. I'm not going to go.
Here's a question for you. What happens if Pickard doesn't look so hot?
So I wrote an article on the site a few days ago now, and it was just like kind of 5 training camp battles, and I ranked them in order of like likelihood of being interesting. And at number 4, I had like, hey, if Pickard plays bad and Rodriguez lights out, they also have Colin D'Elia, who I forgot about, but his numbers aren't good. But if Rodriguez plays really well and Pickard plays really bad, I think it needs to be both those extremes. It can't be like Rodriguez a hair better than Pickard, because then it's like, no, put the young kid down in the minors. But like, if Rodriguez lights out and Pickard is god-awful, we go back to the thing again. You save $200K, you're over $200K by making that swap. Like, by going from Pickard to Rodriguez, Ryan to Peterson, and then Brown to Carrick or Dermott. as your 4C, you would save yourself like $600,000-$700,000.
And here I
Nobody
had
can call us
Keith.
the oldest team in the league anymore.
And here I had Keith Kincaid as my option to fill in, but I guess he's off the table.
There's a lot of checking down going on in what you're doing there. I don't think that all those things happen at once in the same roster, but I could see one or two.
8 years ago would have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. When we had all kinds of
everything would have
time to
collapsed.
move
We probably
around.
would-
Yep.
The ceiling would have collapsed.
100%.
So
just since you brought up his name, sorry, cut you off, Tyler.
Stephen,
Our boy Stephen Ellis named Olivier Rodriguez one of the top goalie prospects in the NHL over at Daily Faceoff.
25th on the list.
I love this because there was a time when Ollie was down there and Stu was back there somewhere, and people said, you don't have any goaltenders in your system.
Yeah.
It's true.
The weird thing about this, there's such voodoo, though. You know what I mean with goalies?
But that's just it. That's why I've always been like, just give it time. Like Ollie's in like the ECHL right now. You do not make a call on a goaltender while he's, 20 years old playing the ECHL. That's way too early.
The Stu Skinner before the 16-game win streak last year versus the Stu Skinner after that is two different goalies, in my opinion. Like, it feels like a different guy in the
got his
second
mojo
half of the
The
season.
Stu after that playoff run last year to the Stu we're about to have is going to be different too. The future Canadian starting Olympian goaltender, Stuart Skinner.
Just back to the cap thing quickly. Yes, I agree that like not all three of those things are going to happen, but with 13 forwards, 7 D-men, and 2 goalies on the roster, the Oilers have $945,000 in cap space. I'm not great at cap math, but if you were to, again, go with the cheapest roster you really possibly could, you would have like $1.6 million in cap space that can then accrue throughout the season. That's not nothing.
Yep. I see what you're doing.
1.6 near the end is probably going to get you what? A guy who's making close to $6 million a year?
I don't know. Maybe. Let's roll with it. We've never been afraid to spread misinformation before, so why stop now?
It's still preseason. It's fine. We're covered.
Yeah,
Listen. All our ideas are excellent.
Original Puzar will group DM us the correct number in
You guys are idiots
12
here
to
looking
18 hours.
Yeah, if we fuck up, Original Puzar will keep us to account.
And then I always read them, and I'm like, we should do a thing on the next pod where we like say like, hey, we were wrong about this last episode. Then I always forget by the next Friday.
Or do we just start doing things where we poke them? Just start saying the most outlandish things out there.
It's true.
How long until he gets so sick of it that he's like, I'm not listening.
Connor, I'm pretty sure is signing for $6 million a year.
I think we should sign Connor to 9 years next year and just see if the league stops us.
Why not?
Just put it in the paperwork, send it in. If they okay it, they okay it.
Maybe it slips through the cracks.
Let me see here. So this is from last week. The team can sign Bouchard at any time.
Oh, yeah, we got that wrong.
The January 1 deadline only applies to re-signing players in a 1-year contract. So last week we were talking about renewing Bouchard.
Well, why the hell hasn't he been re-signed yet? What are we waiting for?
Let's come up with a new excuse that Original Puzar can tear down next week.
Somebody's got to do it. We got to keep him on his toes,
Yes.
Making sure his lawyer chops are sharp,
Absolutely.
right? He's our cap expert behind the scenes. I want to change gears a little bit. Obviously, we mentioned it a little bit. Tom Gazzola kind of tweeted out a couple of days ago that both Evander, Kane, and Darnell Nurse will miss the start of training camp, potentially beyond. The Evander, Kane news is not surprising. Jim Matheson tweeted he's probably going to fail his physical. That one's not
It's a
Can't
surprising.
hilarious
we
thing to
just
be
say
putting
to
out there objectively.
Can't we just say you can't pass it? Like there's an injury, you can't pass. Failing the physical sounds so much worse than he has an injury and therefore he's not going to be able to do this.
It's very Miss Cleo-ish of him. I have a feeling. Oh, maybe. Something's telling me.
But we've been hearing that for, 2 months.
So
Yes.
that
This
one's not
is-
surprising. The Darnell Nurse one, though, is more concerning to me because of, like you said, the Matthias Ekholm thing from last year. How long is it going to take? Well, first of all, how long is he going to be out? What is the injury he's
How
battling?
long was Ekholm out for? Do you remember?
I think he missed the
10?
first regular season game.
He only missed 1 game?
I think so.
And just obviously all camp and
All camp, all preseason. And it took him what?
What was his injury? Do we remember that?
Some lower body. Yeah, he played 79 games.
Too much testosterone in his face.
It's understandable.
Yeah, that beard very thick. I guess how much time is Daryl going to miss? What is the injury?
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the injury?
And how long is it going to take him to catch up? Because I talked about this on Better Late Than Never yesterday. And when I posted my promo graphic talking about Nurse, the reaction to him being out was just so hyperbolic in the wrong direction. Like, yeah, you can complain about the salary all you want, but he's a big part of the defense, and having him out for any length of time is a major blow to a D-core that is already a little shallow, in my opinion.
That has Emberson and Stetcher in their starting 6 right now.
There's a little part of me that's like, again, it's like a sick joy, I guess, in the sense that like they're going to get to see what they wanted to see all along now. They think that this team is better without Darnell, so we're going to start the season without him possibly.
And we're going to start the season 6-0 in the 6 games he misses. And everybody, see, we're good.
Well, and that's going to
be, yeah.
Yep, that's the risk. But it is just a part of the, like I said, it's that sick sense of, yep, okay, you guys have wanted a team without Darnell Nurse. Look at what the left side's going to look like now.
And also the concern for Nurse is, again, we don't know what the injury is that he's fighting right now, but like, what did his summer look like if he wasn't able to do
all the pictures
stuff
I
he
saw,
normally
he
does?
seemed fine.
You studying him?
No, I think I've seen 3 or 4 pictures though. Maybe
How's he
one at
look?
the
I
wedding.
mean, he's skating right now, so
I know he enjoyed the
that's
Minions a
encouraging.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a very important one.
Yeah.
So I think that having Nurse miss time is a bigger problem than the loud minority of Oilers fans are suggesting it is.
Yeah, and it'll come down to what the ultimate injury is.
Yeah.
Right?
So who knows? I'm going to go find Handsome Tom, and I'm going to shake him down for his info.
Don't touch his hair.
Can't touch his hair. That's Anchorman rules.
Security guard for that.
Face and hair, off limits.
Off limits.
Yep. Anybody else concerned about Nurse missing time? Can't just be me.
I'm concerned, but
I said last year I'm not worried about Ekholm.
yeah,
Look what happened with Ekholm.
Yep.
I'm learning from my mistakes.
that's fair. I think that this team I wanted to see this team start off the season well and not have the issues that they had last year. These kinds of injuries can happen and can cause something like that to occur again. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous.
And again, I really would like to know what the injury is because some things go away, some things linger. If it's something that's going to linger, then, go lay your ass on the couch till it goes away.
Tyler, you worried about Darryl or no?
I'm just more concerned or disappointed that we won't get the preseason run of like, how does he look with Emberson? How does he look with Stetcher? Let's experiment with some things. And now you're going to be experimenting in the regular season. And I think that's a bit unfortunate.
It is. So we'll see. Time will tell. Sticking with the defense, we say fare thee well. Former Oilers defenseman Markus Niemelainen signed a contract with S. Baron Berlin.
Oh,
Berlin.
that's easy.
With Berlin. We fare thee well. I remember there was a time when I thought Markus Niemelainen was going to be an answer.
So did I.
I remember there was a time this summer that I thought he was still going to be the answer. I didn't realize he wasn't under contract.
We say farewell. He played 43 NHL games. He had 1 assist and 8 PIMs and was -2 in that
That's crazy that not any other team were willing to give him a look and then
Why, just because big?
yeah.
But
And
it
you usually get 2 tries, 2 organizations.
Not when you're like a 3rd or 4th round pick or whatever. To me, it's just, again, when we go back to every preseason for the last however many years, we're like, there's no way Tyler Benson clears waivers. Oh, he cleared waivers. There's no way Raph Lavoie cleared waivers. And it's like, for every prospect you like in your organization, every other organization has 4 to 6 prospects that they like more than that prospect, right? Like,
And I do think because he's European, I think like instead of toiling around in the AHL again, he's like, screw that. Berlin's pretty dope.
But like even Carter Savoy went to Finland. Sorry,
that's okay. Just look at Utah. Look at HC Utah. Look at Utah HC right now with their the 14th overall pick from the 2019 draft that they can't even find a suitor for right now, and he's going to go and sign over in Europe. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say they can't even find him. Yeah,
no, they can't find a trade partner for him, and they can't find anybody that even wants to offer sheet him. And he could be offer sheeted at the minimum with no compensation.
They're calling other GMs being like, hey, you want to offer sheet this guy? Like, no.
Here, we wrote it up already for you. I'll just fax it over. Just sign it, send it. You know what you got to do.
He probably saw that there's nobody going to be up close to the glass in Utah and was like, I'm out.
I think it's more complicated because of the asking price, but Leafs and Nick Robertson, like they signed him and he's still like, I don't want to play there. And the Leafs are like, well, we can't trade you. So what do we do?
Although didn't Frank say something like signing him to a contract now makes him more tradable?
Yeah, because teams aren't worried about acquiring him and then not
now they
being
know
able
the
to
price
get him.
too.
Yeah.
Hold on. Why can't they be right by the glass?
If you look the pictures that are coming out of Utah right now, the setup of the arena is the first like 4 rows are punched back into the wall. The first row is almost like at glass level. The first images that are coming out. They really are afraid of the glass banger. Yeah.
I gotta see this.
Do they have room for standing at that? Did you get stand at the front?
Everything I've heard. So funny enough, I still follow the Coyotes subreddit, and they are on top of this stuff. And they are pointing out that this is just Arizona 2.0, and we are going to have the exact same frustrations that we had with Arizona just creep up with.
Except they have a rich owner who's not a moron.
That's the issue there. Yes. No.
These are weird.
No ownership issues. But
these are it's a weird.
It's layout. Like I think we'd heard at the time because remember I think it was like we were like 2 weeks away from that land sale happening and they just sent it to Utah and we heard at the time that this was like them accepting the lesser of two evils. Like it's not a great situation.
So if there's no seats right along the glass, does that mean the dad's gonna go stand along the glass?
I don't know.
That would be awesome.
And they all get to put their coffee on the ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that'd be so good.
I'm looking at this. Is this the image you guys are looking at?
No, there's actual pictures now of them practicing on the ice, and you can see the chairs pushed into the walls.
What's amazing to me is this like graphic I'm looking at is I'm gonna say a third of the rink has partial ice view.
Yeah, on like as a label, yeah, to warn you that it's partially ice viewed.
Yeah, so everything in the one I'm looking at. So essentially, I'm just looking at a color coded graphic of their seating chart, and it goes gray. Everything in gray is a partial ice view, which by my rough Yaremchuk math, is about a third of the arena.
I think it's similar to the Barclays Center was a few years ago for the Islanders, where it's just they're not completely obstructed, but you're not getting to see the entire ice surface, so they have to put that disclaimer out there.
Anyway, best of luck to you, Utah. Or as Johnny Lazarus said, best kits in the NHL.
Best kits, I like that. Good touch.
I don't think they are.
I don't think so either.
They're growing on me, actually.
They are, but like, what are they going to look like next year when they actually have a name? Or is it the same color scheme, or are they going to change it? Like, I want to know how deep the money grab is going to go when they relaunch with logos and stuff.
It is a little annoying.
Anyway.
Are they putting seats behind the net? There are no seats behind this net.
So I've heard multiple rumors that they might be putting in like a standing room section or something, but not sure.
You know what? Standing room right at the glass would be fun.
That's what they do in Europe.
Dope. Yeah, and the Americans like to stand.
Yep.
That's one thing I'm very much envious of their sporting fans. They get to stand the whole damn time.
Regular season football game, stand the whole game.
Yeah, I'm in.
Cologne, in the Cologne Shark Stadium, both sections right behind the goalies are standing room only. The bar is at the back of the section, and so you have to kind of cycle in and back and forth, and those crowds are just going insane.
Can't do the whole tennis ball with a slit in it for your money. Put a $5 in there, throw it, and
no, they want you rotating in and out so that they keep getting it flowing.
That's why you need 5 buddies. And your turn to go. Yeah. You go grab 5. Right? This is Germany. They'll let you take 15 beers if you want.
Exactly.
I was thinking about what you said about Americans like to stand during sports. I'm like, we didn't stand during the Seattle. Oh, we were in the very last row of the stadium. You didn't have to.
Oh, in Seattle?
Yeah.
In Seattle. You didn't want to stand, man.
No.
That was steep.
It was very high.
You're welcome.
It's funny. I was watching the game the other day, and they showed the stadium from the opposite end, so you can see where we were. And I was like, holy, we were a long ways up and out there.
Yep.
Like, that is something.
I was buying my tickets to go back to that stadium at the end of October. And same thing. I was kind of like looking around and I was like, oh God, we could sit cheap up top. And I was like, wait, no, we sat there. It wasn't that bad. Like, you're way up there. But
the only thing I think you miss out on is that you can't feel the noise of the building. Like you need to get down between the 20s or even the goal lines, get under the whole walls. Because that's one of the things I wanted. Like, this is like the loud place. There was the run that almost, it was a 3.7 on the Richter scale or something like that. Yeah. I'm like, I want to feel that. I want to feel like your ribs bounce around as you watch this dude run down the street.
And also, because I'm a fragile boy, we were in the rain. You sit under that lip,
It was.
Then you get to feel it, and I'm just out of the rain.
We got the whole Seattle experience.
I don't got to be a soggy boy. Also reminds me of when we made the girls walk up that very steep hill.
Oh, that was fun.
That we decided to run up.
Always good memories on Nation Vacations.
Yep. Anyway. That's why I'm so jacked up for Denver, man.
NationGear.ca.
That's an extra day. That's an extra day for memories. That's an extra day for shenanigans.
And activities.
Yeah. Now that we got BM locked in.
Push the beds together and make so much more room for activities.
Back to the Oilers. I find it fun how when Leon Draisaitl signed his extension and he did his presser, he was being very coy about Connor McDavid's extension. But in the interviews he's done since then, he's just basically saying, I would love it if he re-signed here. I want him around. I want him by my side. I think it's very funny. He said, obviously, I'd be lying if I said I don't want him there forever. I want him by my side. I'm sure he thinks the same way, but at the end of the day, I'm sure he's going to do what's best for him. That's the way this business works, but I guess I'm just waiting for next summer. And he had a little chuckle after he gave that answer.
Can we as a company get them like a double sweater for Christmas?
Yeah.
And
So
a tandem bicycle
sweater.
Yeah, so it's like the 2.9 there and a 9.7 here. Only the right arm there, only the left arm here.
Yeah, 100%.
I thought you were
Lift
going to
next
go more
to
into the San Francisco days and maybe a pair of fundies.
That too.
You know? Listen, I'm just putting that out there.
We can
Another
carpool.
thing that came down with those two from the Vegas media tour, we had Matt Larkin down there who's doing some interviews for dailyfaceoff.com, and he spoke to Robert Thomas. So Robert Thomas says, when the offer sheet news broke, I'm trying to find the exact quote here from him. I got the abbreviated version. So essentially, Robert Thomas was with them. When the news broke, he was with multiple Oilers players, including McDavid and Draisaitl, and he said it was an awkward moment as the players weren't too happy about the news. Both McDavid and Leon Draisaitl clarified their comments afterward, and McDavid said, I saw Robbie's comment. I thought they were pretty funny. He said we were angry or something like that. I think it was more just surprised. Leon Draisaitl added, Connor and I weren't sitting there pouting like babies.
That is
So
such
again,
a German answer. I love it.
Those two, Connor gives the very straight answer, and then Leon's just like, we weren't just sitting there pouting. What the fuck? I loved it. I thought it was very funny.
Again, DK put $50,000 per goal on the wall for 3 games against those guys, and let's go light them up.
Yeah, it's fine. $50,000? Puh.
A goal.
Lunch money.
A goal. Exactly.
Lunch money. No problem.
If we beat him, we get 30 goals in the 3 games. 1.5 mil. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Like a tax break for him.
Oh, it's easy. No problem. The other thing I want to mention here quickly before we get to some betting talk for our friends at Bet365, I put together a Pacific Division
Get a good sip in.
guessing game of who will and will not make the playoffs in the Pacific Division. And the odds are very funny. So I want to walk through those with you boys. But a couple more things that I want to get to first. The Oilers announced on Wednesday morning that they had hired Tobias Salmelainen
Nepotism.
in a player acquisition and development role over in Europe. Andreas Karlsson was also hired as a player development coach, and Vincent Maltz as a mental performance and player development coach with the team. So Jeff Jackson coming in and adding more on the management scouting side, as he said he would. So trying to bolster the organization.
Anybody else scratch their head when they saw the rookie lineup? The rookie roster? And have, what the hell's his last name? Vincent. It's not Desharnais, but it's.
No, it's Vincent Desharnais.
Is
Really?
it? It's not spelled the same way.
Is that spelled the same?
Because I looked at it once and I was like, wait, what? And I went back and read it again.
Yeah, it's Desharnais spelled Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Oh, Desjardins.
Like Eric.
Oh, yeah, Vincent Desjardins.
Yeah. But you saw Vincent. Wait, what? Hold on. I had to go read like 3 times.
He's back? Oh, no, he's not.
I saw something at Canucks Army where he was talking about how much he hated playing against JT Miller
Whatever. We'll
and all
call him
this.
TJ.
I'm like,
He's an
just
asshole.
wait until you have to go against Connor and Leon, my boy.
So what do you think about playing that? Well, I learned
Just-
JT Miller's an asshole.
Just on the 3 hires, I do like that the Oilers are at least starting to act like a rich organization. Like when there was that point when they fired Tyler Wright and it was like, oh, yeah, the Oilers haven't had an Ontario scout. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Make a lot of money, spend it.
There's
So,
no cap on that either.
Yeah.
So, again, Jeff Jackson filling some holes here, and I like it. The other thing I want to mention, and it pains me, your friend, Sam Gagner, PTO in Carolina.
There's like 3 teams not to go to.
Of all the teams.
Don't tell me you don't have some PTSD right now about 2006 and Doug Weight on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Sam?
Doug Weight was at the end of his career, played for that team. Next thing you know, we're in the Stanley Cup final again. He, luckily, didn't play. They win. As if I'm not thinking this is the exact same damn thing right now. I am worried. I know I shouldn't be, but I am worried.
I appreciate that Sam wants to continue his career. I do.
100%.
I knew it wasn't going to happen here. I did. But it hurts that he's in Carolina.
Yes, like 3 teams don't go to. Don't go 3 hours south. Don't go 12 hours west. And
But
don't
he
go
did
over
play
there.
12 hours west.
Oh, that's true. That's That was different.
Other PTO, Yamo in Utah.
I was going to say, Kyler Yamamoto, PTO in Utah. It's interesting. He did not have a good year last year in Seattle. I knew he struggled there last year, but I didn't know he only had 16 points in 59 games.
Just getting rid of the local boy. It's rough.
It just hasn't gone well for Yamo since 21-22 when he had 20 goals, 21 assists. That was his career year to this point. Hopefully he makes it work in Utah. I'm surprised he has to have a PTO to play on the Coyotes/Utah.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? Like, they need players. They're going to be junk again. Probably.
I saw there was someone in the YouTube chat for Owen Every Day who was like, oh, yeah, what a bust Yamamoto. Okay, he's not a bust. He had it, to play 300 games in the NHL, he's played 303 now, is a very, very good accomplishment. And also, he was picked 22nd overall. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. He's 14th in his draft in games played and 13th in points. He outperformed his draft stock. Sometimes you can look at someone and be like, hey, that was a good pick, even if they didn't become a superstar. The Oilers got a really good season and a half out of Kyler Yamamoto, and I don't know, I guess it's just been hard for him to stick. It's one of those things. Not everyone's going to play 1,000 games.
Mm-hmm. Small guy, too. Yep. Obviously, yes. And a rambunctious little fucker, too. So the way he plays, too.
Yeah.
It's tough on the body. Yep. Anyway, fare thee well, Yamo. Wish you the best. Sam, not mad. I am disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
The betting segment is brought to you by our... The betting segment is brought to you by our friends at Bet365, proud partner of Oilersnation Radio. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OILYBONUS. Dan, the promo code is?
OILYBONUS.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to play Prices Right, as I like to do with the odds. I'm looking at yay or nay to make the playoffs in the 2024-25 season. I've got the odds, and we're sticking with the Pacific Division right in our own yard. The Oilers, surprise to no one, are the heavily favored team to make the Stanley Cup playoffs. But do you know what the odds are for such an accomplishment? That's what I want to know. The Oilers' odds to make the playoffs, Dan, do you have any idea or a guess?
I'm going to guess minus 250.
To make the playoffs?
Just to make the playoffs.
Minus 750.
That's exactly what I was going to say, so I'll change it to minus 925.
The bettors believe in the Oilers so much.
1250.
Minus 1,100.
Wow.
That they will make the playoffs.
So if you want to make $100, you got to bet 1,100.
Seems
to miss the playoffs, the Oilers are currently listed at plus 650. I don't like either of those bets.
No.
I feel like plus 650 is nowhere near enough.
Not enough juice, yeah.
No, it's not. Do you have a guess of who would be the second favored team in the Pacific Division to be a lock to make the playoffs?
Vancouver.
I'm going to guess Vegas.
No, I'll say Vancouver.
It is the Vegas Golden Knights, Dan, and since you guessed correctly, what do you think the odds are that they will make the playoffs?
I'm going to say it's minus 250.
I'll say minus 450.
Yeah, this would be like a minus 525.
They are minus 350 according to the sports books, and that the reason
It's
I point
hilarious the gap between the two.
That's why I think is the funniest part. So the Golden Knights are second in terms of betting money, but the Oilers are just so far ahead in the odds. Crazy. I think it's funny. How about not make the playoffs, Vegas? I think they're going to make it personally. I would not touch this bet, but what is your guess at the odds? What's the line on Vegas?
I'm going to guess plus 550. No, plus 450, sorry.
Tyler, do you have a guess?
I'll say plus 375.
How the hell do you do that? Exactly what I said in my head, too.
I mean,
it's
you two are cute. That's what's happening
plus
right now.
Plus 275.
Rick was very close, plus 260 for Vegas. Next up is the Vancouver Canucks.
We all lose, though.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody loses. Vancouver Canucks next up. They're in third place. Odds to make the playoffs.
Minus 275.
Tyler, minus 275.
To make the playoffs?
Mm-hmm.
Minus... Oh, the other one was 3... like minus 180.
Dan, you got a guess?
Minus 150.
They are listed at minus 270 to make the playoffs, so they're behind the Vegas Golden Knights.
I don't know what I'm thinking with these futures odds.
Just to keep cruising through a little bit. So to not make the playoffs, plus 210. And that one's actually interesting to me just because they're PDO heater. I still think they ultimately make it, but they got some major goaltending issues.
Oh, yeah.
There's just nobody close enough behind them to take their spot outside of Vegas.
The Los Angeles Kings.
Three
are
teams
up
make
next.
it, right? And I think LA's kind of fallen off.
Yeah.
Calgary's not, and nobody else is even worth mentioning in this segment. So it's three that are pretty much in. If you
So
ask
the interesting thing is the betting public has the Los Angeles Kings very close to the Canucks in terms of the expectation that they make the playoffs. Nation Dan, what are those odds? Los Angeles Kings.
I'm going to say plus. Wait. You said close, and they were minus 270.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say plus one or minus 150.
I'll say minus 220.
minus 250.
Minus 250 is the correct answer for the Los
I didn't say
Angeles
it in
Kings.
my head this time, so he couldn't steal it.
Tyler, you've mentioned the Kings as a possible team that could not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
What do you think those odds look like?
Minus, I'll say plus 175.
Anybody else got a guess? Kings not to make the playoffs.
I'm going to say minus 150.
Plus 250.
They're plus 200 to miss the playoffs. Just real quick, just because it's fun. Down the highway.
Red Deer Rebels.
Red Deer Rebels expected to make the NHL playoffs. They are heavily favored to do so. No, the Calgary Flams. They are heavily expected to miss the playoffs.
Crazy.
What are the odds for Calgary to miss the playoffs? Nation Dan.
Minus 175.
Minus 175
Yes.
to miss the playoffs.
Yes.
Heavily favored to miss the
I'll
playoffs.
say minus 600.
They're going to be like minus 800.
I'm terrified of
They are
futures.
minus 425 to
Okay,
miss.
so we're in
I
the
did
middle.
it. I finally got
Kraken also expected to miss. Bettors believe they have a better chance than Calgary. They're at minus 190. Now let's get into the fun California team, shall we?
Nice.
The Ducks and the Sharks, no one thinks that they're going to make the playoffs whatsoever. However, if they do, a miracle happens, Dan. What do you think the odds are for the Ducks to make the playoffs?
the Ducks. I'm going to say 4,400 plus 4,400.
The Anaheim Ducks to make. You need a whole lot of things to go
Plus
wrong.
750.
Plus 1250.
They're plus 1,000. Tyler comes in to win that one. They are not to make the playoffs. The Anaheim Ducks are listed at minus 2,500.
Wow.
The San Jose Sharks, led by Cody Ceci
And Clem Costin.
and Clem Costin. What do you think they are? Dead last in odds in terms of making the playoffs. You got a guess on what the San Jose Sharks to make the playoffs
So the
are.
Ducks were plus
Ducks were plus 1,000.
1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say plus 2,000.
Give me plus 2,200.
Oh, plus 1,400.
Rick would be the winner on this one, plus 1,600 for the San Jose Sharks to not make the playoffs, which we all think they won't. I don't know what the odds are, Tyler. If you want to make $100 on this, when they're minus 6,600, how much would you have to bet
$6,600.
$6,600
to make $100?
Yeah.
Seems fair.
You'd have to bet $6,600.
Seems worth
to
it.
100.
Yeah, perfect. If you got an extra $6,600 and you want to make a cool $100, maybe that might be one for you. You know, something to think about.
Parlay things.
Right.
You can't parlay. Yeah. Imagine if you could parlay futures. Whew.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Use the promo code OilyBonus. The promo code is OilyBonus. OilyBonus. There you go. A little Price is Right with the odds to make the playoffs for the Pacific Division teams. We are going to step away for a quick break. Come back for Ask the Idiots. Ask the Idiots is presented by Tyler. He's paying for this one.
Okay.
Yep. I reached in his wallet, took his credit card, put a couple of numbers down. Wow. Tyler is paying per question. We got 4. We'll rip through these real quick. They're fun. I asked on Twitter if you want to get a question in for the boys. They haven't seen these. They just slide on into my DMs, all right? This first one is a fun one, I think, personally. Comes in from Kevin. Let's start with you, Rick. Which arena would you most like to watch an Oilers game in that you have not been to already?
I think the answer is most likely MSG.
Great answer.
That was my pick, too. It's MSG. If I had to pick one that was second on my list, probably the Bell Center.
I was going to say Bell Center was going to be my answer. I'd love to see an Oilers game
The
in
only
Montreal.
thing about those ones is they're not the original arena. Like, it's not what we grew up with.
You could go to Toronto and go to Maple Leafs Garden, which is now a grocery store.
Be fun.
I do like grocery stores.
I've done the Bell Center, so I would say MSG.
Just as a bag milk add to the question, where's your favorite place you've watched an Oilers game that is not Rogers Place currently?
I had an absolute blast watching the Oilers beat the Senators in Ottawa in like 2012. Taylor Hall scored in overtime. The Ottawa fans were hilarious. So I'll say Ottawa.
I have a special connection to watching them beat the Kings in LA because it's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite road arena is Seattle.
Because it's so much fun. It had nothing to do with the fact that it was the playoffs.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Well, Vegas was a fun time. I can tell you stories about that.
Yep.
Nashville was a fun time. I can tell you stories about. Oh, Nashville was a lot of fun too because we crushed them.
That's
Were
true.
you there?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the one lady in front of me,
Tricycle
like
hat trick.
3 seats over, I was doing my thing. She liked to turn around and chirp me a little bit. Didn't really work, but it really kept me going. And then she left like halfway through the third period.
Yeah, I was walking around the arena taking video because everybody had left, so we could go sit anywhere we wanted.
I kept calling Paul. Hey, Paul, what's the score now?
Also, honorable mention to the Saddle Dome.
Saddle Dome
Why?
is fun.
It's a good time to see a win
Go
there.
down there and watch them beat the Flames.
That part's
We
fun.
just didn't see a lot of that over our time.
No.
Driving the bus
What was our
down there.
record on bus trips, Dan? Like,
One win, maybe two.
yeah, and it was the thing with the thing happened.
Yeah, we're not talking about the thing.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
thing.
Then there was the Leon could have scored his 51st goal to tie Ovi and share the trophy.
Yep.
And it might have been Gio, or I might be just guessing his name. But he flipped it up. It was high, and someone just kind of flucked their stick in the air and knocked it out. Otherwise, that was going in the net, and I would have been shared the rocket.
Just for me, I'm trying to think of where I liked watching a game. Just to be an asshole, I loved watching the Oilers win in overtime in Vancouver and watching all of them leave the building really upset. That made me happy. Would I ever go there again just for funsies to watch a game? Never. No, terrible. Arena's cool. Fans, unbearable.
Yeah.
Vegas, obviously great. It's hard to beat Vegas. Unless you don't like the loud music. Vegas, not for you. All right, this one comes in from our friend Brown DeLorean. He has been a nation citizen for quite some time. Tyler, I'm starting with you. Do you think the Oilers not winning the Cup this past spring had any effect on Leon signing an 8-year extension? As in, if the Oilers got the job done, does Leon maybe take less term?
I talked about that before. Like, I do think there might have been a little, like, if they had done the thing and crossed off that big check and Connor and Leon got to win together, maybe it would have been tempting for Leon to be like, maybe I can do it on my own elsewhere. Maybe I want that for my legacy. At the end of the day, I think he was staying no matter what, but I do think the pain of losing and being so close with Connor made it so that he was more likely to sit and say, 8 years, sign me up. Let's finish this together.
Dan?
No, I think that they're really just kind of destined to be together now. Myself, I like the idea of it, but I think that they were going to be there no
Rick?
matter what.
Not really, no. I think either getting the 8th year was big for him, but I also don't believe that any other team could put him in the exact same position, especially one who could pay him, 15, 16 minutes. If you were going to win the bidding war for him, you weren't going to have a roster better than ours. And he doesn't really have an attachment to any city in North America outside of Edmonton. So
And Prince Albert.
yeah,
And Kelowna.
no NHL city then.
I know.
The only reason I think maybe is just because I remember talking to Frank one time during the playoffs, and he goes, I don't know why and I'm paraphrasing, he goes, I don't know why everybody's nervous. He's going to re-sign. He goes, if I was to be nervous, if they win this year, maybe he just thinks he can, like Tyler said, can do it maybe somewhere else. But I don't know. He signed, so we don't have to worry about it. Next question. I didn't write down who sent this one. It is funny, though. Dan, I'm going to start with you.
Mm-hmm.
Waz likes to call people out at Nation HQ for things he's never done before, and I think he needs to play more into his strengths. Is there any competition that you think Waz would be able to beat everyone at the office at, considering how much shit he talks?
Oh my God. Wow.
Which he does. Waz has really got a heel turn going these days.
Yeah, that's fair.
With his fellow staffers here at Nation HQ.
Is there anything that Waz could beat us at that he could just consistently beat everybody at? No.
There is.
I don't.
What is it,
What is
Rick?
it, Rick?
Awkwardness.
Oh.
As a contest, yeah.
Awkward presence.
Staring contest?
Awkward.
Fastest to count toes. He's only got 9.
He beats
Fair.
Yep, beats us all.
I would just like to share a Waz story of him going in the Owen Everyday chat yesterday and commenting that the Bills stink a bunch of times. And then it took second quarter of last game, and he texted me and said, the Bills are actually a lot of fun. Should I hop on the bandwagon?
What was your answer? It better have been no.
I said we're the best bandwagon in the league. Was
That may be true.
Also worth mentioning that Waz had probably third quarter had dropped 2 already in the TNN fantasy.
It was so funny.
Fantasy football league.
Before the injury. It was
Before
like,
the injury.
You got the alert. It was like whatever Mike Ditka, whatever his team name is, has put Tua Tagovailoa on the block. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Waz has, I'm pretty sure, and it's a rough count, cheered for half the NFL as his favorite team at this point, and it looks like he's adding the Bills next up. Very nice. Congratulations, Waz. This one comes in from Captain Felton. Dan, if you could have a pseudonym like Bag Milk, what would it be?
I think I've said it early on. I was going to go with ketchup chips.
That's so funny. I don't remember that. It is purely Canadian.
Yes.
I've never thought about this before. I think I would go with something that was an insult, so then people couldn't like insult me. Like if I just went by like big idiot or like Oilers idiot, and people were like, "This take sucks," I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm an
What do you
idiot.
expect? Look at my
Yeah,
name.
I'm an idiot. What do you expect?" And
Yeah.
it would frustrate people. To,
It would,
to
yeah.
no ends.
Rick, what's your pseudonym?
I don't think, same with Tyler. I never really thought about it, but I had one friend, I can't remember what his Twitter name was, and I was like, man, that would have, and it was something along the lines of stone hands, lead hands, concrete. It was something like, I can't remember exactly what his name was, but I thought that was a decent one.
Captain, if I thought that coming up with the pseudonym that I did at 19 years old was going to turn into a full-time job as I approach 40, I probably would pick something cooler. Something like Turbo, maybe. You know, could throw them back to American Gladiators. Always loved Turbo, or like Laser.
There's some good ones
You know,
there.
Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Some kick-ass like that. Something manly. You know, Bag Milk's not manly. More befitting of my general state of fitness right now, but that's a different story. That's a me problem. Final question. This one comes in from our friend Stephen Ellis over at Daily Faceoff. He is our lead prospect analyst here at the Nation Network. Find his content over at Daily Faceoff and theleafsnation.com. If you were an alien, what is the first thing you're obliterating? Tyler, you're an alien. You're going to destroy something. What is it?
I was gonna say Saddle Dome, but that'd be doing them a favor, so no way. First thing I'm obliterating.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Could
from
get
a
us in so much trouble.
from a strategic perspective, the White House, I feel like that would really send things into a frenzy if you were trying to take over the world. That'll be my answer.
Tyler's destroying the White House. This is where we insert the clip from Independence Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
The laser. Rick, what are you destroying as a alien overlord?
It's a good question. I mean, you'd have to like, am I just coming to visit? Are we coming to try and take over? What is the whole, the mission statement of my visit? What am I going to obliterate? I'm going to try and make I want to make my presence felt. So I'm going to look at like a large land area. Again, I'm an alien, so I don't care about the people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like Antarctica or something.
Yeah, maybe cause
You need
mass
to come
floods.
in and you need to come in, announce your arrival.
Yep.
Make sure people realize you're there, and they show you some instant respect. So you're like, look what I can do. Bam, that's gone.
Yep.
You didn't really need it. So you better listen to me now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, well, I'm going to do that over here to something you actually like.
Show them where the bear shit's kind of, you know? Dan, what are you destroying?
Niagara Falls.
I was just
seeing what
there.
the
It was
water
lovely.
does. Just seeing what the
Were they
water
on or
does
off at
after
the
that. Letting it cause some havoc for us.
I was there. It was lovely. How dare you?
Sorry.
They say I'm going to get the stat wrong, but it was in the hotel. It was like a little fun factoid thing. They say in 500,000 years, that whole area will just be like a little trickling river. That whole thing will be gone because of erosion. The falls backs up by a foot a year, roughly.
So the falls are going to fall?
They're just going to erode away.
But in my world, they're blown up.
Mm-hmm.
So that fun factoid can see the future and saw what Dan did, just didn't know how it got there. And they just, well, we
It's not a
assume this
little
is what
trickle
happened.
anymore.
We don't want to tell the truth. That's going to
giant
scare the
crater.
people.
Yes.
We'll call it erosion.
It's true. Yep.
I am an evil alien overlord. I want pure chaos. I want control. And I want people to bow to me and fear me. So therefore, I'm going to sync up my alien destroy ships in a very tactful manner, and all human infrastructure is gone. Try and defeat me now, humans. You can't. Can't even get around. You can't have water. Enjoy. It's my planet now.
There you go.
Something to think about. Don't let me get the hands on an alien warship, Tyler.
I'm going to make sure I keep a tent close by.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Plan accordingly, people. If this ever comes to fruition, you're all fucked. And there you go. Ask the idiots. Courtesy of Tyler Yaremchuk.
We're not very good aliens is what I'm discovering.
No, we're not very friendly. Not very friendly at all. But, you know, he did say, what would you obliterate? So
it's true.
We're just going there. Let's wrap up the podcast, boys. Hot and cold performers for nationgear.ca. Get some fresh threads for a new hockey season. Beautify your body. Nationgear.ca. You can get some show stuff. You can get some just our standard merch. Maybe you want to keep Nuge Forever tee. Maybe the first one you bought, it's getting a little old. Need a replacement. Go on nationgear.ca. Get yourself a Keep Nuge Forever tee. As we do every week, gentlemen, we are going to start off with our veggies. And on the left side of the screen I'm looking at is Nation Dan. You were up first. You're a cold performer of the week for nationgear.ca.
Mine is just going to go out to drivers. Now, unfortunately, we've had some tragedy in the hockey world around driving. So I just want people to be more aware when you're out there driving around in your 1-ton metal missiles. Just be more careful of the pedestrians and the people around you. So drivers get my cold performer of the week.
I'm upset.
Tyler, you're up. nationgear.ca, cold performer of the week.
The pundits around the NFL who wrote off the Buffalo Bills. They do it every year now. Seems like for the last 3 seasons, I was like, oh, the Dolphins, oh, the Jets, oh, the Dolphins again. Nah, it's always the Bills. Go Bills.
Why are you the way that you are? I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
I, as a lifelong Vikings fan since last week, I'm glad I didn't know that Josh Allen was a pistache man.
Oh,
because that might have changed things.
Pistachio farmer.
I didn't know he had a pistachio farmer. Take you behind the scenes a little bit. We did our annual planning meetings in Canmore. Tyler and I ate every pistachio in sight at the place where we were doing our meetings.
Yeah, it was like this little working space area, and they had some snacks on the side. Big tub of pistachios. We finished it day one.
We crushed
I
it.
love pistachios.
I love pistache. Rick, you're up next. You are Nation Gear Cold Performer of the Week.
Let's go to a different league, but it's the resurgence. I know I brought this up before, but it's the resurgence of the Esks.
No, God!
That's your cold performer?
God, please, no! No!
No, cold performer.
I was like,
man.
just do what I did. People who doubted them.
No, this one bugs me. So 2 years ago, when they launched the Manning cast, it was great. TSN, you could turn on TSN, turn on Monday Night Football, turn on one channel, you got the regular, turn on the other channel, you got the Manning cast. Both worlds taken care of. TSN, Bell Media realized how much traction it was getting, how much attention it was getting, and their first thing to do was, let's hide it behind a paywall with TSN Plus. So last year, they hid it behind, you want to watch a Manning cast, which in the U.S., I'm pretty sure is just free. It's on regular cable. Here in Canada, Bell Media, TSN, they decided to put it behind their paywall on TSN Plus, and they're keeping it there again this year. I think it's ridiculous. I do not like it, and if someone can tell me how to stream that so I don't have to watch their station anymore, I'd appreciate it.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Someone help Rick out so he doesn't have to order the Manning cast on iTunes.
Yeah, I will. Is it available?
As an individual episode. He's at 99 cents each.
Just per quarter.
Mine is just, I like the fall. I like hoodie season. I don't like that it's dark now at like 7 o'clock. Like the weather, the seasonal change in sunshine. I don't like it. And it's only going to get worse from here. So getting dark early, I don't like it.
I can't believe it!
Well, I can believe it, Jack. It happens every year. NationGear.ca, let's flip it around. Bright sides. Rick, you're up first. NationGear.ca.
Just play the fight song. Let's go West.
Go, something, Elkamos.
He's a hot guy!
They might make the playoffs.
We are going to make the playoffs.
All righty.
I have them at plus 4,000
Really, you bet on
to win the cup.
Ooh, Rick, I might be in with you.
I'll
It's not 4,000 anymore.
No. 28-1, though.
Yeah.
You know what? I might jump in on that.
Dive in,
Just for little
boys.
funsies. Why not? Are we going to get a home playoff game? Probably not, hey?
We're in third. I think we're gonna get that. I think we get up to second. So yes, I do think so.
All right. Well,
Shut up at 365.
Something to think about. Where was I? Oh, Tyler, you're up next. NationGear.ca hot performer of the week.
My hot performer of the week is Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Bowden Francis, who, I mean, there are not a lot of pitchers in Major League Baseball history who can say they've taken a no-hitter into the 9th inning before. Never mind to do it twice in a career.
4.
Never mind to do it twice in a season.
That's 4.
4 guys have done it twice in a season. He's done it twice in his last 6 starts. It's incredible the run that Bowden Francis is on, and hopefully the Jays got something good. And honorable mention to Eric Zabrowski, who kept up his remarkable start to his Major League Baseball career. No earned runs yet.
Pour it on!
Nation Dan, NationGear.ca hot performer of the week.
Well, there's some news items that have crept up from a town in America called Springfield, and I'm just giving it to the internet for all the Simpsons memes that have come out of that. So the internet for all the Simpsons Springfield memes, you get my hot performer of the week.
Poor ducks.
It's getting hot in here. So hot.
Listen, if I was going to eat my dog Frank,
The Elf memes are
they're so good.
To people who don't know who Elf is,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
he was eating cats.
He was eating
way
cats
back
a long
in
time
85.
ago. Yeah.
Before it was political.
Yeah. It was just the thing to do. Alf was eating cats, so yeah.
A sandwich to
Yeah.
pieces of bread.
The memes were so good.
It's
It
been a
was
good
so
internet week.
Oh man.
Hot performer for me, NationGear.ca. Of course, like I said, lifelong Vikings fan since last week, just getting into my first NFL season, really diving into it. But first week in the TNN Fantasy Football League, I beat Tyler.
Damn it.
That could be my Super Bowl right there.
Shame it.
I beat Tyler in fantasy football, even though he knows way more than me, or at least he likes to think so. You know?
Put some respect on my name.
So there you go. I'm a fantasy warlord.
Does this mean you're adopting the Michigan Wolverines?
I could. Why would I?
That's just where your quarterback who's out for the year went. And
I'm a Sam Darnold guy.
Won a national championship over there. I would not learn that name very well. You're not going to be a fan of that guy very long.
Oh, how dare you? He's chucking darts last week.
It might have been actual darts though.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Jerry O.C. for his hosting of Big Brother last night.
That was weird.
It was.
I was like, are they trying to pull a fast one on us?
Jerry O'Connell hosted Big Brother?
Yeah.
Oh,
At the
no.
last minute, Julie Chen had COVID. She tested for COVID.
Oh, wow.
So-
I got to get caught up on Big Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Jerry O'Connell.
Don't go to his Instagram feed right now, though. He put a spoiler up an hour before the West Coast feed hit the airwaves.
Did he? Oh, cold performer Jerry O'Connell. Come on, man. Pull it together.
He got in a lot of trouble for that one.
It doesn't give
Yeah,
anything
a lot of
away,
people.
but you could tell he was reading the teleprompter that was clearly written for Julie Chen.
Yes.
But like trying to do the same inflections as she would at the same point. It was very funny.
Yeah. You could tell he was nervous for sure, but he had a fun time with it. So
Yeah. So anyway, any final thoughts? We're going to wrap it up.
Kangaroo Jack.
Kangaroo Jack?
Jerry O'Connell.
Good movie.
Bubble Boy. He wasn't in that. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.